What's up, farming family? How y'all doing today? Today, we're going to be checking out the HUDEF Viva Pro 2. As you all know, I've checked out several of HUDEF's paddles. I checked out the HUDEF 6.8, which I completely, ripped into that. And then I checked out the Viva Pro and the Apex Pro. Both of those were really good paddles, especially for the price. We're going to get into this one. This is supposedly an upgrade version of the regular Viva Pro. That's why it's called the Viva Pro 2, obviously. But I'm just going to let y'all know I have a code. It's Farmer. If you use it at checkout, you get 15% off. I do get a kickback for that. Thought I should let you know that. I've basically supplied this code for the Apex Pro and the Viva series so far. I did not supply it for the 6.8, but for the paddles after that so far, HUDEF has been making big steps in the right direction. But we're going to get into this paddle and I'm going to sort of compare it to the old, Viva Pro and other thermoform foamed edge unibody paddle. But let's get into this. This paddle is a thermoformed, it has foamed edges, and it has unibody design. The face of it is T700 raw carbon fiber. The shape is elongated. The weight averages from 7.8 to 8.3 ounces. The length is 16.5 inches. The width is 7.4 inches. The thickness is 16 millimeters. It's got a 5.5 inch grip length. The grip circumference is 4 1/8 inch, and it has a one-piece handle construction. I'll have a video of that later on in the video. One thing I did notice about this paddle compared to the old Viva Pro is they did add increased power for sure. The ball pops off the face faster, and there's more power because popping power is different. That could be a whole different video, but this is definitely an increase for both. Now, what I would compare it to would be, it's not as soft as the R3 Pulsar or the Yola Scorpius, but I would put it right above them in terms of power. Like, it definitely has more power than them, but not by a lot more. In terms of control, I don't think it's going to be as hard to dial in as, like, the Carbon 1X, the Lemma 624. This feels to be a little bit softer. It's not as controllable as the R3 Pulsar, though. I keep going back to the R3 Pulsar as sort of, the guideline or what I measure it to, because that's the thermoform foamed edge paddle that I prefer. So when I'm making comparisons, it's easier for me to compare it to that and other elongated paddles, but that's the one I will generally go back to. But when I switched between the R3 Pulsar and then switched to this, it wasn't like any crazy difference or anything like that. I didn't skip a beat. So it's not going to be like a drastic difference in terms of the two paddles. I just know the R3 Pulsar is definitely the softest that I've used so far. In terms of spin, this is definitely an increase in spin from the original Viva Pro. I was messing around. See, when I go out and test, I generally will pull out other paddles, and play with them and switch them out back and forth. So I went to the Viva Pro, the R3 Pulsar, the Viva Pro 2, and the Electrum Model E Elite. See, the R3 Pulsar, it and the Valair Mach 1 are the only two paddles I felt have like the crazy high tier above everything else. So when I was using the HUDEF Viva Pro 2, it was definitely better than the regular Viva Pro, and I would say it's right there with the Electrum Model E Elite, or maybe a little bit higher. Because every time I played with this paddle, everything was dipping and doing exactly like I wanted it to. Like, if I had to choose between the Viva Pro and the Viva Pro 2, the Viva Pro 2, like, no doubt. It played phenomenal for me. In terms of durability, here's the thing, okay? HUDEF has done something completely different that I haven't seen on any other raw carbon fiber thermoform paddle. What they have done was they made the paddle unibody, but they didn't stop there. They made it unibody, and I talked to the owner of HUDEF, and they took the raw carbon fiber that goes in the face, and they put it all the way down to the handle, and then basically thermoformed a single molded handle over top of it. So it is super sturdy. I'm going to have a video right here while I'm talking, but it is completely different than all the other ones I've seen, and I'm betting it's extremely durable. Like, it's not going to snap. I hit it over my knees 3 or 4 times and it didn't budge. So I was like, well, there's no point. It's going to be just like my unibody design video where it's not going to snap. In terms of mobility, I did feel like this was a little bit more head light than some of the other elongated, version paddles. Like, it wasn't as head heavy as 11624. It wasn't as head heavy as the Carbon 1X. But if you have a problem, you know, with elongated paddles, this paddle is not going to be for you. But if you like elongated paddles, this one's not going to be like a crazy heavy ProDrive Carbon or, you know, like the Yola Hyperion. When it comes to the price, it's $130. But with my code FARMER, it literally makes this, if I'm not mistaken, a $110 thermoform, foamed edge, unibody with single molded handle. Dude, that is a really, really good deal. As y'all know, I am crazy for deals, okay? Like, I get very upset when paddles have 200 plus price ranges. So when something comes along like this and it plays really good, I am going to be behind it, and I'm going to say how good of a deal it is. I don't know if it's in my top 10. I am having a hard time distinguishing my 6 through 10 because there's a group of 5 or 6 right there that I'm going to have to choose between, and this is in that group. But overall, if you pay, you know, $110 for this paddle, it's going to play well over $110. It's going to play just as good as your Carbon 1Xs and other paddles like that.
What's up, y'all? And these are my thoughts on the Viva Pro 2. So let's get into it. So overall, I really did enjoy this paddle. I would definitely say it's not as poppy as the Carbon 1X. So overall, when it comes to the kitchen and the control and stuff, you have really good control over your dinks and where you want to put them. But your drives are also not that weak either. So overall, it's a pretty balanced paddle for my use of it so far. I would say that this paddle is definitely worth it. This paddle overall, even though it's not going to be my day-to-day use, because unfortunately right now there's 2 paddles that I currently enjoy more than the rest of them. But overall, this paddle does feel really good, and I would 100% recommend this paddle.
Yeah, this has been our review of the HUDEF Viva Pro 2. As you can tell, I liked it a lot. I like some of the new features that they added into it. They made this one unibody. They had the, you know, single molded handle, which I've talked about, blah, 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 like crazy. I saw on their website where they added a plate under the face to make it have more power and more pop. I didn't rip off the face to see that, so I didn't really mention that much in the review. I just mentioned how much power and stuff it had. But if that's a new feature they've added, then that's really cool. HUDEF's always trying to do new stuff. The through rod technology on the 6.8 just wasn't it. But so far, they've been, you know, improving and getting better and better. I'm curious, you know, what the future holds. Hopefully, they won't release another 6.8 or something like that. But we'll see. Until next time, stay safe. Have a good day. Drink plenty of water. I never forget that. Peace.